When solving a long equation, we first have to start with distributing anything to get rid of my parentheses. So this first set of parentheses, there's nothing to the left, so I have x minus 2, and I'm going to bring down that minus 5. The second set of parentheses, I have a negative 2 to the left, so I'm going to distribute that. So I have this first 8, negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is a positive 8. Now what I like to do sometimes when I have a long equation is draw a line through my equal sign. Because I can simplify anything on the left and anything on the right, but anytime I want to move across the equal sign, I have to do it to both sides. So let me do the first step. I'm going to combine some like terms to make my life easier. Those are both numbers I can add together. So I have x and negative 7. Those are also both numbers I can add together. 8 plus 8 is 16, and I have a minus 2x. So now my goal is to get all of my x's on one side. So I want all my x's on one side and all of my numbers on the other. What I do to one side, I do to the other. This first term here is an x term. I'm going to leave it. The second term, minus 7, is not, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 7, which is the inverse property. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So I have 7, x, that cancels. 16 plus 7 is 23, and minus 2x. Well, now my goal is to get this minus 2x over here, and the only way to do it is to do the inverse property, which is the opposite. So let's add 2x. So I have 3x equals 23. Now my last step here is to get x by itself, so I'm going to do the inverse property again by dividing by 3. Therefore, x equals 23 thirds. And it is okay that they don't come out whole numbers. In fact, this here is a rational number. This next problem is a little similar, but what we have here is we have some decimals. But we're going to perform the same operations. We have to distribute first. So I have 0.2x. 0.2 times 3 is 0.6. And remember, at any time, use a calculator. Minus 8x, negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12, equals 0.9. So I'm going to draw the line down my equal sign. And let's combine like terms. So let's start by adding my x terms together. So 0.2 minus 8 is negative 7.8x. 0.6 plus 12 is positive 12.6. And that equals 0.9. So like before, let's get our x's on this side and our numbers on this side. So I'm going to do the inverse property. I'm going to subtract 12.6. So I have negative 12.6 plus 0.9, which gives me negative 11.7. And I have a negative 7.8x. Now, please use your calculator. To get x by itself, I'm going to divide by negative 7.8, divide by negative 7.8. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And when I get x by itself, I get x equals 1.5. Or if I turn that into a fraction, x can equal 3 halves. Just read your directions and how they want the answer written. Last piece of information. There's going to be problems that ask, determine whether the equation is always, sometimes, or never true. If you solve an equation and the left side does not equal the right side, then it's never going to be true. If I solve an equation and I can get 0 equals 0, then it's always true. So let's go ahead and try this problem right here. Let's start by combining like terms. 7x minus 4x is 3x, and I have a plus 6. I can combine those like terms, so I have a 3x plus 4. Let's move the non-x term to the other side by doing the opposite. So I have 3x on the left, because those cancel, and 3x minus 2. The next step is I'm going to move that one over by subtracting it, so I have a negative 3x. That cancels and that cancels, so I have 0 equals negative 2. Therefore, this will never be true.